Oh, right, all right, all right. A classic matchup. Beyond on the top left side of the map here in the EWC. Not the EW. I mean, casting 7 at even EWC replays in the Pigstarcraft Weekly number 44 semi-finals up against Australia in the bottom right side. It is, of course, a best of 5 PVT, one we've seen many times before. And ByuN's been doing a lot of proxies recently. Australia checks for it. But ByuN is instead just going for the weird barracks. I always wonder with this barracks, are they hoping you come in and you think, oh, I'm getting proxied, and you panic and you just don't check here, I guess? And like, it's not that far off the normal position. It also gets your Reaper down this ramp a bit quicker as well. Yeah, I guess there's a few advantages, like the potential surprise factor. But he's been doing it a lot. We'll see if Australia checks down there. Comes in, he sees double gas, and he's like, whoa, you did proxy barracks. He's not checking. Yeah, he didn't check up there, and he didn't check down here. Interesting. So, it's not like there's a big reaction normally for Protoss. You kind of just go core before Nexus. You might have been planning to go Nexus before core, but you just kind of flip those around if that's the case. He does check out here, so he's losing a little bit more mining time. Sees the factory, and now he sees the barracks. Now, he could still recall this probe at any moment and keep it alive. But he has to recall it now if he wants to keep it alive. I think it's super worth at this point to recall it. But the Reaper doesn't want to waste any time. He goes across the map, which means the probe survives. The second Reaper is being built. Okay, very cool, very cool. Stalkers being chronoed should be out in time. Now, if we have any mods on, could you guys please close the predictions? Because we're already like 2.5 minutes into the game, and it's going to run for another couple of minutes. Because I wasn't sure how long this map would be to start. So if you got any mods in the chat, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to have to tab out mid-cast, which I don't like doing. All right, so Stalker on the high ground, got another one on the way. Extra Hellion, third Reaper as well. Wow, 3 Reaper, 2 Hellion. Okay, I was talking to Australia. He took tons of damage a few weeks ago. I think it was just before EWC, so like I guess a month ago now, to 3 Reaper, 2 Hellion in a game. And I was messaging him afterwards, and I was saying, you know, what's the best way to defend this? Because he was playing a lot of Sentry builds at the time. But this time he's got 2 shield batteries and 3 Stalkers. Oh, this is going to shut this down. Yeah, we saw Classic in quite a few games go for the double shield battery against these 2 gas builds. And I was wondering how standard this would become. Now, these Stalkers going to the other side is bad. They will lose to this many Reapers and Hellions, I believe. But he does kind of run towards the Terran so that any grenades might, you know, friendly fire. He's going to try and... Oh, this is... Yeah, a Stalker for a Reaper's not good, but he does get a second Reaper, which I think makes the trade fine. He just needs to recall. Oh, he left it too long. Yeah, well, now he's got to commit. He gets the SCV, which is annoying, but... Okay, gets another Stalker down, but the Hellion does die. Another Hellion comes out, which should allow ByuN to take care of this Stalker. Crazy aggro here out of Australia. He's gone for that Sentry as his 4th gateway unit, much later. But even with it as his 4th gateway unit, he still ends up getting this down. And oh, the Reaper, 1 hit point! Says, I can dance all day, I can dance all day. And I do think if he stopped at losing 1 Stalker, or then even recalled it or whatever, recalled the second one, I think probably would have been perfect. As it is, Australia's traded a lot of units, guys. You can see he's down in the units lost tab quite significantly, but he is up in the probes. His Stalker walks right past. Oh no, he's got to force field this, surely. No? I mean, there's a battery there and he's got Stalker warp-ins. He might consider this kind of baiting ByuN into a situation that actually favors Australia. Traps the Hellion from leaving. As long as he keeps pulling these probes towards the battery, Reaper shouldn't be able to get any kills. Sent a Stalker all the way across the map. Does take advantage of this tiny hole in the vision. Or in the units, I should say. Not in the vision, but the actual units being there. And now as these Marines come out, more than a match for that Stalker. And Australia's so busy at home. Just too much going on. I don't think he's watching for it. Reaper's still bouncing around being annoying. Stalker gets a Marine, but it does die. This game's going off the chain. It's going into crazy man territory. Another hallucination will go forwards across this map. What's fascinating is the Sentry didn't come out until the 4th gateway unit. He still scouted at about 3:45. His hallucination could have come in. Now, he's going to scout again. He will see 2 barracks, a factory, and a starport, which is a pretty damn good potential aggressive setup. But seeing a 3rd barracks and no doubt a reactor will start here in a moment. I don't think there's that much potential off of this. Season Engineering Bay as well. It's another sign of investment deeper into the game rather than in the here and now. You could also, if he was paying attention, would have seen the factory and the starport. Neither of them was building. See this little circle on top? You can see if there's sparks coming out of there, it means it's producing. See what I'm talking about? Kind of depresses as well. Same with the factory. You see all these little bits and bobs bounce up and down when it's producing, and neither of those were producing when the hallucination first drove past. Raven coming down the south side of the map. 48 probes to 39 SCVs. It's going to be Robo Bay tech. So I've been saying I think you need to play Storm to beat ByuN at the moment. I think he's become an expert of dismantling Storm, of Colossus styles. And yet for some reason, almost every game I've seen recently against ByuN, Hero and other players has been very focused on going for the Colossus every game. But he's just so good at finding his window to get in there. And I don't think it's bad to play Colossus some games, but I hope it's only like game 1 Colossus, game 2 Storm or something like that for Estrella. How much gas has he got? 4 gas mining's not bad. Starts his first Colossus. But 1 Sentry, 5 Stalk is not a very impressive army. SCV in the mix. Kind of makes you wonder, was that on purpose? Looks like the answer's no. Goes home. 3 barracks pumping as well as the medevacs there. Raven ready to throw down some more auto turrets. Units lost tab overall. Still in favor of Terran. Stalker's trying to even it out on the way across the map. Stalkers, they're outranged by siege tanks, man. Siege tanks have 7 range, even out of siege mode. 7 goes up to 13 when they're sieged up. Gotta be really careful because those Stalkers just took way too much damage. They're so damaged before the fight even starts. Colossus he can't defend this. Not into 3 siege tanks. There's no way. The Marines do stim. There's nothing that can close with the siege tanks. 1 Stalker kill on the Colossus happens, but then he's done for. I don't think he can take care of this, surely. The Zealot's doing a pretty good job of tanking. The Colossus just does no damage, man. It's getting hammered. It somehow survives. Oh my gosh, it does. And actually, the Stalkers are going to take it out. It's kind of a miraculous defense. Yes, Estrella's still down 300 in the units lost, but I actually thought he was just going to lose everything there. I guess there was no Marauders, very few Marines. Just those 3 tanks seemed like such a scary force for a guy who's got 5 Stalkers and a Colossus, but a few Zealots came in, another Stalker warp in. I guess all these gateways going down right on time. 7 gateways do keep Estrella alive, and he's going to probe back up. Estrella has been famous for taking punches to the chin in this matchup and bouncing back from it over the years. I remember back in 2021, it was Estrella against Dream. Anytime those guys played, oh, you were in for a treat. 2020, 2021, because Dream would be crazy aggressive all over the place doing damage. It was so back and forth, and Estrella would just keep getting up off the ground, and then Dream would kick him in the chin, and he'd fall over again. He'd lose, like, sometimes there was games where Estrella would lose 130 probes, and they'd still be in a sick macro game 20 minutes into the game where it was really even. Like, it was very fun how on the cusp he was of being too greedy and dying the whole time and just barely surviving. Zealot Colossus gathered up at the 3rd. Stalkers in the main, going to make it hard to rotate a drop in there. Who is Dream? Oh, you don't know who Dream is, Mr. Big. Dream was a super old school pro gamer who came back and got really good again between, what, 2018 to 2021, something like that. He had like a return to form well after his military service. Came back, got really into StarCraft 2 again for a few years and had some good performances. A few like top 8s in GSL and stuff, I think. Wasn't really I think he might have won a tournament way back in the day in like 2012 or 13 or something. But he was mostly around in Heart of the Swarm. In Heart of the Swarm, his TvZ was the best, says Warren. It was really good. He was very good back then. So yeah, about 2013, he had like a heyday. 2014, something like that. And then again, but I think he's fully retired as I haven't seen him since, I don't know, 2022, 2023, something like that. Maybe even earlier. Command Center's going to float out this left side. We've got 4 ghosts building right now. ByuN, man, it feels so bad getting your 3rd mining this late. But I don't think it matters against the 58 pro Protoss at all. Prism's going to come in. I don't know if Estrella can do that much of this. He's doing a big attack on the front as well, I think. But oh, the EMP! Viking volley takes it down! Oh my lord. Oh my lordy lord. Here we go. This attack on the front's a bit too late. At least the warping got cancelled, so he only loses the Prism and the 4 Zealots. It could be worse. Stalkers are going to try and blink to the left. They obviously cannot take that base out. These Colossus need to get out of here. Those Stalkers need to run. But now he's separated his anti-air from his Colossus. Vikings are faster than Colossus. Okay, reinforce the Stalkers comes in. They do take out the Raven there. But I think these trades are once again favoring Mr. ByuN. Oh, wait. Hold on. The Zealot has something to say about that. 6 kills from that 1 Zealot. 7 SCV kills in general. Oh, EMP is so good. And he clicks forward with his dingle dangle. Takes out 2 of those Colossus. Really well played. I think ByuN might just have too many units here. I think the idea of like being out here and intercepting him and kiting backwards is probably a great idea for Estrella. He's just a bit too hemorrhaged from the previous few fights. Great game 1 there for ByuN. All right, guys, we've got ByuN in the bottom left side of the map for Shopify Rebellion, Australia in the top right side. It is going to be ley lines. Now, this is a map that's kind of medium-sized. I do find there is interesting, because ByuN, there is interesting. I know I'm a very good commentator. What can I say? ByuN has gone barracks gas. No engineering bay block, which is wild. Varying it up. We used to meme that he would always engineering bay block on this map, and that's why you should always go check for it, which is exactly what Australia's doing right now. I've always like, dude, if you don't check for eBay block between a minute and a minute 15 on this map, you're actually insane. Like, it doesn't cost that much. Just send the probe, have a little look around, and make sure you could actually build your Nexus. But looks like he wants to go Cybercore before Nexus, because you can see he's already at 400 mins, almost. 400 mini mins, the minerals. Okay. Goes down there. Wasn't expecting a late eBay block. There we go. Nice, nice. He's going to go scout. Looks like he's kind of checking for proxies and stuff as well. And reactor first. Double gas reactor first. I think this might be 2 Reapers. What do you guys think? Do you think it's going to be Reaper reactor plus Hellion? He might just lean it. He might be like, look, Australia played so safe in that last game with non-stop stalkers and still took a lot of damage. Let's just lean into it, because I actually do think there might be like a bit of a weak spot for Australia against Reaper Hellion. I'm not sure if this is the case or not. But I think he might be a little dismissive towards it. Maybe. And it's very easy to be dismissive towards things like Reaper Hellion, because they're so fragile and so fast moving. You can shut it down really hard one game and think it's not a problem. And then you play a guy like ByuN and he just wriggles it in a slightly different way, finds a new angle, hits a few seconds earlier, maybe by tightening his build up a little bit. And suddenly it's a nightmare to deal with. Command center goes down. It is indeed that Reaper Hellion we're talking about, guys. Or it looks like it, at least. Could go early Cyclone. Oh, it's Widow Mine. Okay, maybe just 2 Reapers then. That's so weird. Reaper Widow Mine, because you can't keep building Reapers then, because you're not building Hellions to support it. So he's just going to maybe hope Australia moves out and run in to kill some probes, or maybe use 1 to block each of the 3rd base locations. Doesn't look like it's going to get value. Australia's playing really safe. He's got that high ground wall off. Twilight Council comes in, and his shield battery on the natural with the Stalker Patrol. He's also got his own probe here. Could go up for a scout. And I think that would be able to see the command center from there. Let's watch this from Australia's point of view. We're on his camera right now, guys. Probe gets inside the base. He actually doesn't see the command center. He sees the starport timing, though. He's going to try and attack that. I think he should know there's a command center on that left side. Kind of a weird feature on this map that command center can hide right there, right? Because you feel like you've seen there, but most of this vision, I think, is from earlier on, right? Before the command center started. 2 Reapers hanging out front. Phoenix Hallucination will go across, confirm what's up. Second gate in the wall. Robo comes down pre-blink. That's a big delay on blink to get Robo and a sentry before blink. I think that's a doo-doo. We'll ask Australia about it later if he wins, if you guys want me to. You guys remind me more, I guess, because otherwise I will forget. But that does feel like a doo-doo, right, guys? Pylon there. Another pylon goes down as well. Second barracks goes down, and interestingly, a Liberator. Okay. Mixing it up a little bit with the Liberator. No Stalkers on the natural. Yeah, that's Widow Mine drop. Number 1 is going to be easy. Goes in, boosts in, and he only drops 1, which is fascinating. Because he kind of knows you're going to deal with it pretty well. Nice burrow, unburrow. Oh no, these guys are a bit too close. Okay. Australia wisely pulls out that Robo. Oof. Creating a little bit too much of a choke point there made that a little scary. Blink's still a while away from being finished. Second barracks almost done. Do we see a Raven this game? The answer is nay. I think ByuN, remember that Australia beat ByuN in a macro game, game 1 of EWC. Game 2 and 3, he tried to open Dark Templar and ByuN beat him. Australia is not going to be like when you lose the most important tournament of the year trying to do Dark Templar multiple games in a row and it kind of works, but then he kills you anyway. You just lose faith in that build. You just go, oh, DTs are bad and stupid. Like if he thinks about strategy, anything like I do, that's where his mind's going to be, is zero faith in the Dark Templar play. And I think ByuN can make that read and just say, don't even need a Raven. Don't need to be safe against it. Ooh. Oh, look at that. SCV repair, the Drilly boys. Oh man, 14 SCVs all feeling up that siege tank simultaneously. Protected from the 4 Stalkers. Great play by ByuN. And he's done a good job of just slowing down the probing. We are going to see Storm this time from Estrella. I do like to see that mix up. I think Estrella does his best StarCraft when he's swapping back and forth between different styles, playing the strategy game as much as possible. I think even when Estrella tries to play the more perfect build that he's a bit better at doing, he's not really a purely execution-focused player. He's much more of a strategy gamer who's obviously got great execution to be a top StarCraft pro, but he's not going to be max levels of consistency. So it's better for him to try and look for advantages elsewhere against the top opposition. Lean into your strengths. Play some crazy builds. Mix up your strategies game to game, map to map. Now, he has delayed his Forge a long time. When you've gone Blink, Robo, and Storm, it's very expensive. Hard to get your Forge up early, so you kind of accept being behind on upgrades. Hey, Marine drop. Really good to sneak in against Storm. Oh, that's huge. Full medevac ambush. The Observer saw him leave, man. The Observer must have seen him leave. That's huge. And you know ByuN's going to scan that Observer now. Like, he knows it's there. Because he's like, well, how did you know that was there? You must have seen it leave. Oh. Saw the Marines leave, man. Gotta be so careful leaving with drops like that. So it's often good to pull behind the mineral line, load up, and then move back. Where they can't see you. Double drop's going to try and go through the middle here. Very dangerous. Gets away with it for now. Charges on the way. +1 has just started. There are currently 5 High Templar on this map. Australia would like to do a big storm timing. There's literally nothing to storm, unfortunately. There's like so few Terran units. He does go in a little bit early. Stalker's blinking forward though. He's going to get rid of the tanks, which is huge. Oh, Widowmine just took out 2 High Templar. Another High Templar gets focused by the Marauders almost. Not quite, but almost. Double drop comes in the natural at the same time. Energy recharge. Oh, very nice energy recharge and a feedback there. Gonna have to pull these Zealots back. I think Australia with the 4th base building, this is actually a good trade for him if he probes up quickly. Even though you might be like, oh, what are you talking about? Lost a lot of important units. He gets rid of the tanks. The 3rd for ByuN's just floating out. Oh, the Liberator's being annoying as well. ByuN's doing little moves that are keeping him in this. If that Stalker shuffles. But he knew ByuN was good enough to target the probe, so he didn't even try to shuffle the Stalker. Very smart for both sides, getting the assured damage by focusing on those probes. And, of course, Australia recognizing he was going to do that. Now, these mineral lines are starting to mine out here, so Australia will need to drop 8 of these workers off this base very shortly, send them over to this 4th. He should already do that transfer right now, to be fair. A lot of people look at this number. That number's a lie, guys. These mineral patches are going to mine out in the next minute anyway. You might as well transfer them all at once ahead of time. Something a lot of players forget to do. You see, he's looked at the number. He just pulled down to 11 workers. But these mineral patches are going to run out in a second, and the number's going to turn red. And this is where just memorizing your timings is far better than looking at this number. This number's bad. 8.5 minutes, always drop your main to 8 workers. 11.5 minutes, always drop your natural. Unless there's been a very cheesy early game. If it's any version of a normal fast expand build, those rules will apply to every faction. But very few pros have remembered that in this day and age. There we go. See, now he does a second transfer. He might as well have just done it in one transfer to begin with. It's just extra actions. It's small efficiency. It's not going to break a game in of itself, but it's just one of those things where any player that builds that habit is just going to save a few actions compared to the other players. That's all. Double Robo Bay coming in. 2 more gases on the 4th. Pretty impressive setup for Australia. It's just that his army is really small, and that's what he has to realize right now is like, does he have enough High Templar? He's got 6. I think he needs 8. I love this. High Templar there, High Templar there, High Templar here. And he's got 2 on the front. I feel like you should have another one scattered somewhere on this map. Oh, this is great. The Observer doesn't get taken. I think if Estrella survives another minute without taking damage at 11 minutes, like he starts to run away with this game. Because his supply should be going up pretty quickly. He's only on 6 gates, but he's building 3 more. 2nd Forge finishing. 2nd Robo finishing. Colossus on the way. I mean, Estrella's army is getting better at a much quicker rate than ByuN's is. ByuN has a scarier army right now, but will that last? Oh, big storm! Stalkers do take down the Ghost Zealots down south. These 3 Widow Mines could do big damage to slow these Zealots down. First Colossus has just entered the fray, guys. Second and third are building. Fifth Nexus is on the way on the low ground. Zealot's going to go forward maybe for a bit of a scout.
Mineral field.
Alright, gets a free Widow Mine, but oh, his army gets EMP'd! What's he doing over there, Estrella? Estrella poking forward with scraps, mate. Throws away a bunch of units. He's trying to do a bit of a twister while being way down on supply. Or army supply, I should say. And not a successful twister at all. He does land a storm there. Bad series of engagements for Estrella. He needed to just wait a bit longer and have a few more High Templars scattered behind this army. That was losing this army just gave ByuN all the confidence. And now ByuN is 3,000 resources, 80 units lost. Felt like Estrella just like lost touch with what was happening in the game, and he went like, theoretically, three-prong pressure is good, but at that moment, his armies were just still individually not intimidating. You know, he needed to make sure his first army actually got the respect of ByuN, then go for the three-prong pressure. But his main army couldn't even stop just a couple of EMPs landing on it and a handful of bios stimming on top, and that's unfortunately a big misstep for him. I think a few more High Templars scattered around these edges would be really good as well. High Templar up here would be really nice. You got to remember how methodical you got to be if you're going to play this style. I think it's a really good style. I think ByuN will really struggle with it. High Templar going down. High Templar forced to morph into an Archon. They do survive though. Actually, a few Terran units do go down. Colossus, very powerful. How many Vikings are out? 6 against 4 Colossus. 3-1 upgrades coming in for Brotos as the fleet beacon goes down. 2-2 is almost done for Terran. Ship weapons +1. And the fusion core is actually, yeah. I always make fun of people for not going fusion core early enough. I really think going early lib range is so important. I think medevac healing also really good the longer the game goes. He's going for 3 more command centers right now as ByuN. He's kind of just trying to rush to late game. This is not like an elegant going to late game. This is a rush to late game, and I like it. I think it's a good choice. You know Estrella's not that good at attacking. You pounded an army to dust. And I don't expect Estrella to be particularly prepared for the range libs. That being said, second Stargate fleet beacon is there. Both players going to air much earlier than I expected. Dude, this army. Is this for real? Doesn't this just feel so vulnerable? Especially with these High Templar both next to each other with an EMP range. I feel like 1 High Templar in the army is enough. 2 full energy High Templar next to each other. This just seems silly. Yeah, they're both going to get EMP'd to Kingdom Come. Zealot Archon High Templar tries to run in on that side. Observer gets taken down. I just think Estrella's... Okay, he's got some backup High Templar there now. Does land a good storm on that side. Okay, he's starting to do a bit better job of it now. But mass command center's coming in, and he's got to work his window right now. Like, ByuN probably is going to struggle really hard to withstand continual trades if you get your 6 bases up and mining, right? If you transfer from your natural... Once again, you can see he transferred 4 workers out of this base, guys. Should have just transferred all of them. The last mineral patch is going to mine out in a second anyway. Just one of those little habits, guys. Always try to transfer 8 at a time. 2 Tempests do come in. Very quick Tempests. I think if you want to go this quickly to Tempest, yeah, you want to build probably Cannon Battery here as well. If you have Cannon Battery here to fall back on, then you can actually like siege here, here, and here. And if you just hold this area, I think Terran's screwed. If you have center control, you can branch off in any direction you want. There's 8 barracks up with 3 more building. Another starport goes down. That's, of course, a 3rd, 4th starport, in fact. Caduceus Reactor. That's the medevac energy increase, plus 100%. Very insanely good upgrade. Oh, okay. Landed an EMP up north. Takes out a bunch of zealots. High Templar goes down as well. Not bad, not bad. We got observers here, man. Look at these observers. Seeing everything. Deep inside Terran territory. You've got to be really careful about your supply efficiency with your armies. High Templar lands a storm. EMP goes down. The scan's clearing up all these observers. ByuN's going to try and take this middle control. He's got libs coming out now as well. 3 libs are out. He is maxed. So that's kind of headbutting in. Gets himself a ghost for a few zealots. Maybe 1 marauder as well. Yep, cannons on the ledge. Like I said, I really would have loved him to just spread cannon battery storm around here and just fight for this area, because it's just game winning if you hold that area. Estrella looks a little afraid right now. I think it's good to have respect for your opponent. Gonna try and mass cannon battery. He's got a prism down there. Storms and Disruptors could be very effective. Disruptor goes out. It whiffs. Storms landing on the Vikings as well as the Tempest shots. He comes in with a flanking Storm drop. Loses the Prism and the High Templar. Lands good Storms. Units lost tab is disastrous for Estrella. But if he holds this position, he can trade inefficiently. If he holds this area and gets cannon battery forward, he wins the game. Like, it's going to put ByuN in an impossible situation if you can do that. There's 2 High Templar up here. I don't think this army's going to do anything. Not with the High Templar there and the cannons. Tectonic Destabilizers is done, which means these guys, these Tempests are doing 80 damage a shot to buildings. Disruptor shot only hits 1 Ghost, unfortunately. Kind of accidentally changed targets at the last second. Tempest getting some good damage. He needs more High Templar down here. Got a full energy High Templar there, but he needs to move him forward so he can keep sieging this base. Bio army up north, looking to come forwards. There's 3 High Templar guarding, 4 on the, including the one on the low ground. That's so many High Templar, dude. You just can't push into these bases. I like the idea of multi-prong here, but what can you do? Double air upgrades on the way for both sides. Tempest starting to siege. Bio's going to stim into the cannons. And looks like the High Templar maybe got sniped down. Same time, down south, Storms are trying to land. That does end up getting, I think, an energy recharge storm there. Zealots trying to warp in on this base. The Bio cleaning it. Now the High Templar on top. The Zealot's doing okay, and I think Estrella with his gateway count is going to be able to defend that northern base with 15 gates. It's not cheap, though. This is coming in so expensive for him. He's down 5,000 resources still. Then again, it feels like you lose so many units in the upfront, and then if you do eventually get on top of this army, it suddenly falls apart, and the Terran just trades so badly. And remember, ByuN spent so much money on these command centers. They haven't had time to pay for themselves yet. They're getting close to the point where they'll start paying for themselves, but he needs to hold on to this center, try to mule these bases out, and then secure 1 more base behind it, which he's floating out for now. Getting that base up is really going to ensure his economy for the next few minutes. EMP on a High Templar. Disruptor does zone him back. Snipe will take out the High Templar. Tempest get a volley off. Marauders run forward. They get a cannon, but I think it's always better for the to get a kill there. Well, it's a lot of Stalkers here. Estrella's going to deal with that. Just a warp-in rally command. We'll take care of it. Storms landing across the front. The Cannon Tempest battery here trying to hang on to the Colossus. Quite a few Vikings die on the retreat, but it still feels like the trades aren't too bad for ByuN. Maintaining, now it's about 6,500, or 5,500, sorry, between the two. This Tempest going to come forward and say, you got to do something about this. These Vikings going to take down 1 Tempest. A couple Stalkers do go forward. Where's that Storm on the front line? This is what I was talking about. You got to keep shuffling these High Templar forwards. You can't poke like that unless you've got High Templar nearby. He's got one there, but he hasn't replenished the High Templar that are with the actual army. That's what you really need to do as Estrella, especially abuse energy recharge, and that can be really effective. Like, I love that he's got these 4 High Templars scattered across the north. He's got this guy on the high ground, but he's not bringing them to the low ground, and that High Templar is not far enough forward to defend you from Vikings here. So there's a big... There we go. Finally, a High Templar comes forward on the north. This is another one on the high ground, though. That's too far back. This High Templar is going to get taken out. Nice move. Snipe an EMP just to be safe. Okay, there we go. High Templar, unable to land a Storm, gets EMP'd, and that's the only High Templar other than the Ledge Templar. Ledge Templar, very powerful. Will it be enough, though? We've got a Liberator up north. Kill 6 probes during this, stressing the attention. Oh, great Storm, though. Great Storm on the Vikings. Does go down. Estrella trying to hold this position, but it's hard for him. ByuN's going to come in yet again. The Liberator is doing such a good job of distracting Estrella from the front, which is where he needs to be focused right now. And every time you make him warp in Stalkers, that's a lot of supply that he shouldn't have in these units. He needs cannons on the edge of the map. Mothership does find this one, which is kind of hilarious, actually, that his Mothership's going to deal with that Liberator. But he needs more High Templar on the front, and he needs them there quickly. And that's the big misstep. I know you guys hear me talk about this excitedly, like, Pig, why do you always talk about Storms? One thing you're going to notice if you actually watch the games I'm commentating is me talking about there not being enough Storms is always immediately followed by the Terran diving on top and punishing the Protoss for being exposed with their army. This is not some stuff I make it up. It's not in my head. Now, most of you are pretty reasonable humans, but he's going Mass Stalker now. This is the wrong unit comp. Stalkers are okay, but he's only got 0 Disruptors now and no High Templar down here with his army. Oh, I mean, he's doing a good job at denying this base, but these edge bases are getting up, and I just feel like he should be here already, denying both middle bases. He's given up on the High Templar to a certain extent. It's not something I like to see. They're really all in reserve positions now. The main army is just Stalker, Tempest, Colossus, Archon. If Estrella can do it with this, I'll be very impressed. And he's going to go for a recall. Nuke comes forward in the middle. Really cute move. Mothership shows herself, and he doesn't use the recall. It's too late now. Oh, it's too late. He's already there, isn't he? Nuke's going to come down. Nuke's going to come down. That's a lot of cannons. Nicely done. About 5 cannons go down. A bunch others heavily damaged. Command Center does die, and he's going to pull back now. Not the most exciting recall. I would have loved him to push in here, pull the army into position, recall up there, maybe get a double base snipe. As it is, High Templar getting EMP'd. A couple ghosts do go down. Nice time warp. Nice time warp cloak there. Great time warp. Colossus Stalker, though. Oh, a few ghosts exposed, actually. Dude, he did get cloak for the ghosts. Another ghost there. He's so exposed. Feedback does go down there. Dude, another ghost goes down. He's chasing him. He's chasing him right now. This gives him great mobility. Good storm! Good storm of the Marauders. More Marauders and ghosts come in from the south, though. Estrella, he's rallying in. Oh, it's F2 now. It's F2 time, baby. All of the reserve Templar have come in now. He's bringing them all in. They are clumping up a little bit in the middle, which is dangerous, though. That's a lot of energy. He's been banking up all game, setting those High Templar up, F2ing those bad boys to the front. It can help you, but it can also hurt you. Tempests are up here. They're very separated from the army. Big misstep for Estrella. Positionally, lets his Tempests hang out a little bit, and they do get slapped. 1, 2, 3... 3 Tempests go down. 4th one should die as well. Indeed, it does. Stalker's a bit too slow to get over there. And the High Templar do cop some EMPs. Only 1 or 2 storms left in that entire bundle of 6 High Templar. Tempest still trying to be annoying, and the Stalkers are definitely doing okay. But he needs some storms. He's not able to land them. Finally lands a storm on those Vikings with the Time Warp. Fighting into Time Warp, very ambitious for ByuN. Units lost tab only 3,000 between the two. That is bad for ByuN, one would think. But ByuN's got a left corner up again. If ByuN can keep mining these middle bases, maybe, just maybe, Estrella has not kept expanding. He's kind of on the same base count. Yes, he took this one. He's building a few more probes. I think he's got to take another corner either there or the top left. Really focus on securing one side of the map and continuing to wear away on these bases. Vikings coming forward. Storms on the high ground are always somewhat effective, especially when Oracle's been doing such a good job of tagging this army with Revelation. But a couple of Templar do get sniped down. Really well played there. Gets the Oracle? No, he doesn't. Mostly at the Colossus, it looked like, actually. I thought he was shooting the Oracle, but it did survive quite easily. Extra Plasma Shields +2 and Air Armor +3 coming in now for Estrella. Already 3-3-3-3 for ByuN. I don't think ByuN... Oh, he did get Building Armor. That's good. I don't think he's missing any upgrades. I think ByuN has pretty much every upgrade that matters. He's not building like Thors or anything like that, but he could get servos to make his Vikings land a bit quicker. Not exactly a high priority upgrade. Great cannon positioning to stop those libs on the edges. So, of course, he just goes like this. The Stalkers will probably blink in to tank the damage. 4 probes for a lib. Not a great trade for ByuN. Why are Templars high? So Terrazine gas. Yeah. Makes you high. All right, Mum is here, but she's going to die to a turret if he doesn't watch out. All right, army's down here in the bottom, though. ByuN started moving top left, thinking it was another recall assault, but the Tempests are down here. Going to clear up Sensor Tower, make sure this base wasn't taken. And Estrella's doing a really good job of managing this late game army. There's like 20 Vikings! Oh my lord, that's so many Vikings, man. There's still 16 left. The Tempests are getting shredded. Where's the Storm? It's all about Storm to stop Vikings chasing like this. He does land some very good Storms and some great Disruptor shots as well. The Stalkers are smashing those Vikings. Is he out of Storms, though? I think he might be. Yeah, the EMPs are so good, man. The EMPs are so good. Estrella needs to get out of here. Where's his army? Where is his reserve High Templar? He's got reserve High Templar trying to come in, but this base is exposed. And I think ByuN there just pouncing. Estrella went a bit too deep away from his cannons. In that scenario, he didn't have the safety net to fall back on. He gets some great Storms on the chase, though. Oh, I think it's worth blinking after this and trying to chase him down. Absolutely worth it. Yes, Estrella is down in army supply, but this army is incredibly wounded. If there was ever a time to strike, it is right now. I think he should keep blinking after this and try to chase this army down. 100% he should, but he does want to be a little bit more cautious. Estrella comes in. It's a double planetary. The double planetary says, F off, get away from my base. And Estrella is going to have to pull back. He's going to have to rebuild. 4 Tempests building at a time right now. Units lost tab, 6,000 in favor of ByuN. And ByuN's able to mine from the middle bases. These are the bases that should be unmineable. Like I said, you got to get this position. If you hold this area, Terran is screwed. I just think if he got his... I know it's not easy. It's very hard. But I think if he got his cannon battery a little bit further forward earlier and really fought and was willing to take somewhat negative trades to get that position, I think ByuN's dead 10 minutes ago. I think it's the most important strategic area on ley lines. It's why we saw Estrella take a map off Serral earlier this year. Something I don't know if he'd ever done up to that point in a tournament. Nice recall to the top left. Will deny this planetary fortress. The Tempests being the best late game siege unit for a very slow technical game is what makes Leyline so good for Protoss in late game. It's denying the middle bases and just not letting your opponent mine from them. But Estrella hasn't been able to do that, which means he's going to need to win the trades at some point or mine out the corners, one or the other, because it's still a very close game. Double disruptor! Oh my gosh! But one of the disruptors died and the other one didn't land. I can't believe it. There was like 20 ghosts all clumped up in those disruptor shots. I think Estrella just saw ByuN's life flash before his eyes and then realized, oh no, he wasn't going to get that cigar. Where are the High Templar? He's got one coming from the left. Mass Zealot warp in. Great storm on the edge, but ByuN reacts really quickly. Mama's here. Time warp could be big. Great time warp to stop the retreat. Mass Zealot, Stalker, Tempest chase. Beautiful chase. Beautiful chase. Time warp does not affect friendly units. Only the Terran units in there. He's got one more storm from behind. The Zealot, Stalker chasing. Estrella doing a really good job. He's got to run down some of these valuable units. He can't let ByuN just walk away with no detection. He's got no way of dealing with these ghosts, and that's a problem. The cloaked ghosts there, they turn, they click on the High Templar, and he will hold this base. ByuN hangs on. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it, dude. ByuN gets in there twice, smashes Estrella's army. I think in both instances, there was not enough High Templar in reserve, and that's always what it's about. 8 probes get built here by Estrella. I think that's a mistake. I think he's got to ease off the probes. I know he doesn't have a big amount of bank right now, but he doesn't have that many minerals to mine either. This base is probably the main area he could send a few more probes to. Estrella's got to be hyper efficient from this point. He's been inefficient all game. He now has to swap to hyper efficiency, and he cannot lose this base. I think he can lose this top base if he's willing, if he can get this one up, but definitely doesn't want that to happen either. Scans going down everywhere. ByuN here with a fantastic set of army control. 11 Ghosts, 9 Vikings, 3 Libs, 6 Marauders, 34 Marines. Libs do have lib range. Nice snipe goes down. High Templar gets bopped. Nuke to siege the base. Very well done. Energy recharge does come in. It's going to storm the libs and then immediately get shot down. Gets those libs from 180 down to 100 life. Cannon doing some pretty good damage there. Nuke does land. The High Templar comes forward. Doesn't land anywhere. He's going to have to give this base up as Estrella. He's got the army coming from here. Stasis Trap's trying to go down. Tempest slowly going to clear out this map control, but ByuN's done such a good job of establishing territorial control. 13 more probes just went down. 7 of them, or 6 of them, sorry, to this lib. Down here, Stasis Trap's getting stimmed down. Tempests, 1 or 2 of them got shot down. The Stalker's trying to pull back. Disruptor shot does go forward. I think having like 8 Stalkers in the army is really good, maybe even 10. I do think the more Stalkers you have, just the more vulnerable you are to getting overrun. And it's really hard to have them all shooting Vikings because they want to fight Marines and Marauders if you don't target fire them. When you have so many Stalkers, they overkill massively if you shift click on those Vikings, so it's a bit of a hard situation to find yourself in. Stims forward, takes out the pylon. Cannon goes down as well. He scans, sees there's no reinforcements coming, and he's going to be happy to deny this northern base. Estrella's still got income, and it's actually higher than ByuN's right now, but of course, ByuN's always 1 round of muling away from looking really healthy, and he's got the bank. Great Storm goes down, and oh, I love this. He tries to nuke. Okay, he did walk into the cannons in the bottom right. Oh, good Storm from the low ground. But I think ByuN's just done such a good job of running away in these situations, and one really can't overstate just how big the Caduceus reactor upgrade has been for Terran's late game in this matchup specifically. Every matchup, but especially TvP late game, the medevacs having higher energy healing rate, double, is actually crazy. Like, you actually do not need 12 medevacs, and he's going to 14. So ByuN's actually making a mistake here. He's overbuilding medevacs. He should be at about 8. No more than that. He's not rebuilding Mama? No, Mama's pretty bad in this matchup. She's good when you've got an advantage and you just kind of go, hey, I'm over here, and then you recall to the other side and kill some buildings. And Time Warp obviously can be good, but Time Warp is kind of relies on the Terran running into it. So it's going to be low priority for Estrella now that he's broke. He's still got chances in this game, but oh, those EMPs! And he gets the Oracles, which means there's no detection. There's no Observers, guys. Oh my gosh, he's trying to build Observers right now, but they're not ready. Stalker's going to try and zone for these Tempests. Oh my gosh. And these Disruptor shots just aren't landing, man. Good Storm. Does zone the army. He needs some more Storms. Good Storms. He needs another, though. He needs just 1 more Storm to stop this chase. It's always the Terran chase that's the scariest bit. Great play by ByuN. Look at the way he dives in here. Mass Zealot High Templar go on the other side. These SCVs should be going down. Oh, look at the value he's getting. He's going to take out this whole northern base. Now, to be fair, Estrella didn't lose that many units He just lost a lot of cannons. He's going to start getting revelations back up, and he needs time for this energy and shields to regen. All right, he's starting to get into ByuN's economy though, or his production, I should say. Can't really clear the planetaries down south. But Australia keeps the Northern Nexus alive. Dude, there's still chances for Australia in this game. I thought ByuN had him. I thought ByuN had him completely dead. It's so easy to balance whine about this matchup, whichever side you're on. Like, as a Protoss, you're like, wow, I've had the whole map the whole game while you were down 3 bases and I still can't kill you. How freaking broken is Terran? And for Terran, it's like, I've been out trading you all game long and this is still so close. That's what I love about StarCraft. You can always balance whine no matter what. Oh, this is another really good fight for ByuN. Chases down a lot of these units. Another storm comes in. Good storms. Does zone out that army. This Tempest, unfortunately, out in the middle of nowhere is going to go down. Zealots on the other side will get cleaned up by the Libs. Very nice play there. This planetary looking exposed. A storm or two on those SCVs would be absolutely delectable. Estrella thinks so as well. Does drop a few storms. I think he should run away, though. Don't think. Even with +3, it's hard to take down a planetary. Oh, the planetary targeted the High Templar! They barely get out of there. They barely get out of there. Ouchies. Okay, very nice play, though, by ByuN overall. Because you can see this base, only a few workers, 7,000 resource lost advantage. Income tab, once again, it's ahead for Australia. But for how long, man? For how long? I truly do feel like he needs to go back to just, like, spreading 400 High Templar and taking a forward position earlier. I think the spreading the High Templar, but taking the forward position is how you play the Tempest stuff. I think otherwise it's really hard to make this work, and ByuN's army control has just got so good recently. The Oracles, both Oracles go down! Oh, he doesn't have any storms. Okay, storm comes in from the south. High Templar walks in. It's going to be 2 dead Nexi, because now he can pull back there. Zealot's going to overwhelm the planetaries down south. Look at the way he targets the High Templar. ByuN kills the High Templar, dude! ByuN's such a Chad Gamar. He's even got a Lib down here in the bottom right side. Stalker's going to come in for Australia. He's finding little bits of value here and there, right? A few planetaries, a few command centers. These Stalkers need to get out. Looks like he will escape with those Stalkers, which is nice. But this is just barracks 9, 10, or 10, 11, 12, I believe. Or 9, 10, 11. So it's not really concerning. He's got 8 more barracks behind. Oh, Zealots can get a good fight. Stalkers go after the Vikings. Of course, ByuN turns and takes out one of the Stalkers instantly. Zealots do good damage on the SCVs. But, oh, the Orbital will lift off for sure. I mean, Australia can't fight here. He cannot fight. He's got to run. Got an army up there. Tempests. Lots of Tempests. He's just so low on gas as well. And nothing to deal with this right now. It's a real problem. Lots of minerals down there being denied. How many Orbitals are left? 7. It's not complete map hacks anymore. Like, ByuN's actually having to rebuild command centers a little bit. He's still massing Vikings. Oh, he snipes High Templar on the ledge. Nicely done. Australia's just so far behind in army supply. I don't think he can max back out, man. Okay, remember what I said, guys. Yes, Australia's been ahead in income a lot, but at any moment you drop mules, and Terran's income is not that bad either, so... It's been ByuN who's richer than Australia for a long time in this game. It's really tough. Really, really tough. Tempest is so slow to clear up a Lib, dude. Oh my gosh, it takes forever. Finally. Nuke's going to come into this base. Oh, the High Templar! Out in the open! He misses! Oh, he doesn't get a storm on the Vikings! Unfortunate there for Australia. He's going to throw the Disrupt to the guard. And he will take out those 4 Marines in the Marauder. Not a bad shot. One of the few good shots he's actually had in this one. Dude, did he just eat some of his own nuke? No, surely the graphic... I think it was just the graphic hangs around for a few seconds. Viking comes in. Nice storm from the south. Another great storm on the Ghost. Oh my gosh. Okay, the Tempest's going to get wrecked. But dude, that army's in big trouble. The Disruptors did get focus fired though. Oh my gosh, the Ghost's just not dying. The Ghost's just not dying. They all have personal healers and then the Vikings land to win the ground fight. The Ghost just did not die. The Ghost just stood their ground. They don't care. I mean, don't get me wrong, ByuN's been smashing this game for so long. That fight, I just was like, oh man, Australia's gonna like kill a bunch of ghosts and have a chance, but the Ghost just stood there with a medevac healing every single one, and they're like, get wrecked, you dirty Protoss. Oh man, Ghosts are so sick. If every Ghost has a medevac, they are an amazing unit. Damn. The overbuilding medevacs pays off, guys. And ByuN here, so much mining. He's got minerals there. Few minerals there. Minerals there. Command center going up top. He's going to turn that into an orbital, funnily enough, because he's a little low on the muley mules. And Australia, meanwhile, he's in Cope Town. Oh, look at this counterattack, guys. 4 Stalkers, 3 Tempests. Fire Viking coming forwards. Just denying that long distance mining. Few minerals here. A couple minerals here Australia could use. Oh, really? Are these 4 plus 3 Stalkers really going to kill an orbital? Oh my gosh, they are. That's huge. Burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno. Oh, you get to it. The SCV saves it. Oh, ByuN's with the save. Comes in. Out from the cold, or out from the burning lava, I should say. These 4 Stalkers try to blink. Only one of them survives. And that one SCV, the man who saved the command center, nicely done. ByuN's like, I don't know how rich this guy is, man. I gotta be careful here. If he could see the supply, I think he'd go punch him in the nuts, but... Oh, High Templar in the grass. Oh, juicy storms. Very good storms. Disruptors try to go out. Oh my god, those ghosts just got yeeted, mate. They got bloody yoinked. Just thrown into oblivion. 69 supply for Australia right now. The power of memes compels you. It's got a High Templar, a handful of Zealots and Stalkers. Bio looking good, man. It's so fascinating, guys, because he set up such good cannon position here and there. I truly believe you can skimp on the other cannons and just put everything into here. I think this position, even though it's down a ledge, is just the most god tier position. And I think Terran is actually so screwed when that comes to dealing with that, but it's so hard to see that from the... when you're playing from the Protoss perspective, and because, like I said, you actually have to lose resources to fight your way to that situation. You need to fight inefficiently, and then you'll watch Terran crumble when you take that position. Because imagine if ByuN's was stuck on his initial 4 bases, couldn't get either of these bases up, and he's got to start expanding to the edges. He just gets strung out. You've got center control, and he can't be where he needs to be, and you can just kind of push your cannon battery Storm Tempest towards him. So I'd love to see that tried in a future game. I think on this map especially, it's begging you to take center control, even though it's the low ground, just because there's not really a big low ground, high ground advantage in StarCraft. Like, the way Australia was expertly using Revelation, the ledges don't really do much other than block you moving up and down them. Chat says ByuN's just needs to dingle his dangle. Well, he's going to go jingle jangle with these Marines. Shake those probes around, see what noise it makes. And there we go. Disruptors in the open. Clickety click. Nice High Templar coming in from the flanks. I love the way Australia defends these. Even gets a little feedback there towards the end of that. Got some Zealots in the middle as well. I mean, you can see these tactics are quite nice for Australia, but the numbers. The numbers! They do not lie! His minerals helping him out. Giving him a bit more of a tail to his income than I expected. Sentries need to be a thing in the late game army in PvT, yeah. If you could actually force big committed fights, because Guardian Shield's so good. And it really should, like, Classic actually adds one into late game always in every matchup. He doesn't always remember to use it. I was making fun of him the other day for forgetting to. ByuN's finally wins game 2. Takes a 2-0 lead in the semis. Alright, guys. We got ByuN's here in the bottom right side of the map. Top left is Australia. And Twitch chat says, is that the only way to beat Protoss in late game? Ghost Viking. Well, you only build Vikings to beat air units and potentially Colossus. Because Australia was building lots of air units, that's why the Vikings were there. Otherwise, you don't bother with the Vikings. It's just Bio Ghost Liberator. Yeah. And that's pretty standard, amazing late game comp. Australia's going to go blind. No, so no scout into very early Nexus before Cybercore. Hello. Nice greedy build here for Australia. It is Reaper first for ByuN's. He's not SCV scouting, and he's rallied his Reaper to the correct base. Damn, I would have expected him to SCV scout, but I guess it's ByuN's. We shouldn't be too surprised. So yeah, basically, I was just saying a chat in between the games, your job as Australia, because he had a moment in the mid game where he was getting really good value, You have to assert yourself when you're playing late game against Terran and get damage in position and mine more bases before Terran has time. Usually it takes Terran about 8 minutes to build mass orbital, planetary, sensor tower, turret, range lib, 12 barracks, 3 starports, all that stuff that ByuN did. And there was a big window where Australia had more bank, more money, more map control, but he didn't get enough done with that. And then he started venturing into the corners away from his static D and getting jumped on and annihilated. And from there, it was kind of just a long, slow death. So it's very important for you to really take advantage of the Terran in what I would call the early late game, when they're like, I have 4 orbitals, I have 5 orbitals, and I'm trying to build a lot more. You know, once they have 8, 10 orbitals and they can scan everything, they can see everything that's going on, it's a big change. It's a big change. So yeah, got to keep your eye on it and find a way to get the damage done when you can. That's why I was so adamant about it's okay to be a few extra thousand resources behind as Australia, but you got to push that forward cannon battery Tempest Storm position further forwards to the point where just holding that position ruins ByuN's entire game on ley lines because he loses his 5th and 6th base locations. We got Widow Mine there and some Marines. Nice. One more Widow Mines coming out. So I guess we see Blink start? Yeah. Second gate, Blink. Shield battery as well. Medevac coming out. Tech Lab on the Cyclone, pretty standard. I don't know why this SCV was moving out there. And a depot does start in the back of the natural. Widow Mine here, hoping to ambush a unit moving out of the base. Hasn't found anything just yet. Chrono on the Blink. I think Australia should send a Stalker out to escort a probe to the 3rd base, because he wants to go 3rd base now before Robo. Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, he would have already had a Robo, guys. I'm not a mind reader. I was just like, where's the Robo at? I was like, okay, he's going to go 2-gate 3rd Blink with no Robo. Grenaded yourself, fool! Oh, the Widow Mine actually fires on the Hallucinated Phoenix, giving Australia all the heads up he needs to know about this. But look at that, ByuN. You just go left. Very nice. Remember, there is the air blocker, that red wall. Air units cannot fly past that red wall. Red Wall series. Fantastic novels, by the way, guys. There is nothing that beats mice with swords and having delicious feasts. Maybe the maker of this map was a fan, who knows. Doesn't look much like an Abbey, though, this one, does it? Widow Mine Drop's going to hide off on the left side. A few Stalkers and Sentries hanging out there. Yeah, the force field was cute there to try and get a bit more damage on the Widow Mine, wasn't it? But it did get saved. Raven going out the left side. 3rd barracks is going to come in and land. So it's just going to be a pretty standard follow-up, but here we go. Hello. All right, Widow Mine drop will go down now. Oh my gosh, Australia! Ah, 5 probes, it could have been worse. Stalkers. Ooh, good Stalker micro. Gets a bunch of Marines there. That was like 4 or 5 Marines. Really well done. Now there is a Raven coming in from the left side. Shield battery though kind of preemptively defends that, and there's nowhere to hide. If Stalkers go to both sides, you're dead. That Raven needs to get out of there, and wisely he does. Disengages Raven, tells him to get out of there. All right, 5 probes is not the end of the world for Australia in this scenario, but it is still very important because he was going 4 gas and a quick 3rd. It's a very economic build order. And now if he wants to maintain probe production, he's going to have to cut a little bit of the warp-ins. Maybe. Then again, he's still only on 2 gateways. So I guess it just slows down his extra gateways coming in, which are already pretty late. All right, there we go. He's going to 5 gates now. Charge has started. Needs to have that charge ready. 2 probes. The Raven should be trapped there if there's Stalkers on both sides. Like I said, I don't think it actually has space to hide. You can see it's stuck on that flyer wall. And I do think a Stalker there could hit it. But Australia's focused on the front. Get the Marine. Ooh, does lose a Stalker for 4 Marines. That's a good trade for Australia. Units lost tab, you can see 275 in his favor. That's really good. No Forge yet. More importantly, where's the Colossus? He went Immortal first. Interesting. Ooh, ByuN moved out, got himself a Stalker. Nicely done. First Colossus, as well as the extended Thermal Lance. The Viagra upgrade is on the way. Observer does go down. Nice scan. No 3rd command center, remember here. Another Stalker, though. Australia's got to, he's got to chill. He's got to put his Stalkers away. Another Stalker goes down. Units lost tab now is shifted. 250 in favor of ByuN. Australia's looking a little too hyperactive. I think he can chill. Just go home and make Zealots or something, right? But I think because his Colossus is a bit late, he doesn't feel as confident trying to slow the push down, but he's kind of giving ByuN confidence in the process of this. Because he's like a bit too frantic to stop his Marine tank moving across the map, and that just looks a bit desperate. Thank you so much, guys, for the subs. Really appreciate you all. Thank you. Oh, tanks there. Good siege. Good siege. Forces him back. And then, of course, he just elevates. Elevates up onto the high ground. And Estrella sees it. Tanks are pretty far back from there. I don't think he gets the Twilight, does he? It's a bit ambitious. Medevac almost goes down. ByuN just goes home now. He's actually macroing behind this. He's building a third on location. Yeah, this is actually a good choice for him to pull back. And oh, really? I didn't think there was a safe spot there. Maybe if this pylon wasn't blocking him from being there. But I don't know. This Stalker looks like it's about as close as it... Oh, there we go. Okay. Never mind. Oh, no. No, okay, he does end up getting it. Does end up getting it. I was like, why are we pulling that Stalker away, bro? +1 attacks on the way. Third orbital's building. Estrella has a 4th Nexus he's building. My lord. This 4th Nexus down here? Well, you better control the map if you want to hold that 4th base down there. I mean, what does Estrella's late game even look like on this map? I feel like Estrella's best at that real slow, methodical late game style. And the map is so spread out. I mean, yes, he could go 4th here, 5th here, like, or 4th and 5th towards the Protera. I don't know, man. This map, your bases get spread out real thin. You might just want to do like a Prism in the main. His Prism attacks have kind of sucked today, though. I truly feel like Estrella keeps trying to send a Prism in as like the first thing he does, and it just dies. He's got to kind of attack the front, do a bit of skirmishing with ByuN, with his main army, and then send a Prism in the main, and then send Zealots in the natural and all that sort of stuff. But because he's been so afraid to do that, it's hard. Now, he's on 6 gas, and he's going to add Storm, so he's going to play more of a later game style, get the double splash up, which is super cool. We'll see how well he can play it. There's 3 ghosts on the map so far. 4th command center does start. I think it's meant as a cheeky hidden base. Well, it's kind of the logical base is a cheeky hidden base. It's hard for Terran to attack. So as long as you've got enough observers and zealots around the map, like it's very far for Terran to send an expeditionary force all the way down there. Like basically, if ByuN was, you know, Genghis Khan, he would, to get down here, he'd have to send Subutai and, was that his name? And like 20,000 Mongols on a bloody scouting trip. He's like, I've heard about this Europe place. Go find it. You know, that's essentially like, you're not going to see them for a decade. They might come back in a decade and be like, we conquered everywhere, dude. And then we had to come back because Boss Daddy died and we had to go do a new Kurultai, man. Like, you know, that's, it's a big commitment. Going to the bottom left corner is where that very, very extenuated analogy went to. 2-2's on the way against 2-1, so upgrade advantage to Terran. 8 gas. Whoa, juicy. Got a little Zealot High Templar squad down there, ready to deal with any drops coming that way. I think you need Stalkers with it as well. I think if you don't have Stalkers, you can't really, like, stop a medevac, which sucks. And you really want to have, like, 5 Stalkers just so you can kill a medevac. Yes, it's a bigger commitment, but the moment you know that ByuN's venturing down south, I think you've got to add some Stalkers to that army. It might have been Batu Khan. Wasn't it originally Genghis who sent out the guy with like 20,000? I think they made it to like Hungary or something like. Was it Hungary? Was the furthest they got? It was pretty much like the furthest or one of their furthest expeditions into Europe, I think. Bio coming forward. Second starport, Tech Legends Reacts. I always love bringing up history stuff because people tell me about all these like fun, obscure battles and stuff in the YouTube comments. I was talking about like epic sieges and I was trying to think of one, which we're probably going to get into once. And someone was telling me about, they're like, oh, bro, you got to check out the siege of, oh crap, what's it called now? It's somewhere down in like modern day, like Croatia or something like that. Somewhere down around that part of the world. And there was this crazy ass siege there back in like probably 1500s or something. 1600s is kind of like a pretty fun siege time. They had lots of big explodey things, but they were slower to mobile. There's lots of like building tunnels and trying to like blow things up from underneath each other and slowly bombarding stuff and building ramps to try and get your artillery on a slightly higher elevation to shoot down on theirs and stuff. It's pretty cool, man. Stalker's coming in. So Australia's got map control this time, guys, but his High Templar aren't that well spread, right? And that's dangerous. Let's storm off. So he's got a Zealot Templar there. He's got a few Reserve Templar here. Wouldn't it be funny if... I feel like this map's so much worse for his style than Leylines, but it'd be so funny if he actually plays it better than Leylines and wins this. Now, as I said, this is the point in the game where Terran's going to build mass command center, guys, and you need to do something in the next few minutes as Australia. You need to either build cannon battery out here and, you know, go Tempest and do what you did last game, but actually hold the position, or you need to, like, attack the north with your army, pull him forwards, and then you snipe this base with some DTs. Could be a good way to play it. I think DTs have been missing. They're very expensive, but they are very good for diving in and sniping planetaries. Like, Australia's he's playing a good style, but ByuN's late game has just gotten so good. And it's so funny, because you see ByuN, if he has, like, no confidence in his late game against, like, Hero, he'll never get to this stage. He won't even try. He's just like, no, I'm going to kill you now. But I think he's just won so many efficient engagements against Australia. He's like, oh, I'll fight you anywhere, dude. There's a thing where Australia kind of needs to get his respect. We'll see if he can earn it in this game. Here we go. Ooh. Oh my gosh. I think he could keep pushing here, couldn't you? I think he could. Doesn't have a warp in point nearby. He's also not bringing his reserve High Templar forward. I think this is one thing. If he wants to push in there, he needs like High Templar, High Templar, High Templar, High Templar, High Templar, not on his army group. You know, like I want to see 10 High Templar on that that unit tab, or even more potentially. Got High Templar and a few cannons in the main, which is cute. High Templar there, one there. Like, don't get me wrong, he's got a pretty good spready. I just think if he's gonna poke with the army this far away from his static, he's gonna need to bring a few High Templar further forward. You can't just have 2 in reserve here. They're too far away from this area, which is why he's so afraid to move forward. I think shuffling forwards those High Templar spreadies, it's quite APM intensive, quite finicky. Very important. Good feedback. Gets a ghost. Nice. The vision got broken, which is what broken this. It's what broke the snipe. It's what broken the snipe. Jeez. Units lost tab. Right now, 400 in favor of ByuN. Now, it is going to be harder and harder for ByuN to keep securing these bases, but Australia hasn't exactly mined out any of his, like this base or this base, so I think ByuN doesn't feel the urgency. ByuN feels relatively chill right now. I like the Observer production. This is one of my favorite things Australia does. Double Robo Observer production. High Templar gets sniped. Oh, no. That one's going to get sniped as well. There we go. Beautiful play. Yeah, you kind of need some Zealot Stalker, and you need to initiate these fights a bit more as Australia, but it's really hard because of the mass orbital. So notice the way ByuN's kind of taking map control. But Australia, he keeps replacing the observers. Constantly replacing the observers. He's so good at doing this. It's one of his best moves. Four more gateways coming in, guys. He's at 18 transformed right now, so he's going up to at least 22 gateways, maybe even more. Looks like maybe another High Templar went down there. Oh, some good feedbacks. And Storm. Not bad, not bad. Turning this map into a nasty place to play. Essentially, I think I finally come up with the analogy to describe this style, which I think is one of the, you know, very good style of PvT. Essentially, PvT, any map you want to think of as the playground of Terran, right? You know, the Terran player just wants to have fun, playing in his sandbox, his sand pit, as we call it in Australia. Makes it sound more savage. You guys call it a sandbox, right, in America? We call it a sand pit. Just sounds more badass, doesn't it? But yeah, point is, you basically want to just smash up some glass. Just collect as much broken glass as you can. Just go smash some beer bottles, and you just want to go and, like, basically spread it through the sand pit. You just want to take a big bucket of broken glass and, like, sharp metal objects, and then you just want to, like, spread them through the sand pit and then, like, bury them a little bit. And then you go, Jimmy, come play! You know, like, that's essentially... You're trying to just spread High Templar everywhere, have the observers so you can initiate the fights when he moves out and be annoying. You're just trying to make it so Terran kind of gives himself an infection and then, you know, slowly dies out. couple of CVs do go down. We've got 9 orbitals up. 1 more making right now. Mama's on the way. 105 probes. What? He's got 105 probes. I didn't even realize. Well, Estrella definitely should not be fighting in this game, guys. He's trying to just make a massive bank advantage, but he's giving so much time. So unless he's going to try and just play efficiently... Oh, all of his High Templar! All of his High Templar just got wrecked. And that was all the High Templar on the side of the map, was it? It looks like it was. Oh, no. Okay, there we go. Energy recharge does get him 3 seconds of respite. You know, Storm comes in. It's not that big. It's only a part of the Terran army. So again, beyond bullying, man. The map hacks of Scan. Very good if you let Terran get to this stage. Oh, the Bio and the Ghost come forward. They go. They stim through the speedy zone. They move faster than Speedlings. Oh, my lord. That Bio was like charged. High Templar comes from the north. Doesn't Storm. No, Astray at F2'd him in. I think he's got more High Templar coming in. Does finally land a Storm, but only on a few units in the back. These High Templar don't land anything either. He's got 22 gateways, 5 Stargates, 2 Robos, but he just can't stop this advance. Oh. I think confidence is a big issue for Estrella. He shouldn't have had all those High Templar clumped, and he should have had a few more in reserve, but this shifting reserve of backup Templar, I keep talking about it for a reason. It's because if you're going to play this passive and let Terran get to this stage where he's got Mass Ghost, you've got to have Templar always wandering in from unexpected angles. The moment you don't, Terran starts to get nasty. Doesn't have any detection, unfortunately. These Cloaked Ghosts being a nuisance. Time Warp comes in. Mama, with the Zealot reinforced, maybe? The Archon will finish morphing and do some splash damage there as well. Mama's doing some damage. If Carrier does arrive, I think Carriers might actually be the unit he needs, just to give him something that does good A-move damage, but with no detection. My golly. It's so awkward. The Ghosts are slowly running out of energy. They're going to kill a Carrier, though, guys. How often do you see in StarCraft 2 Hacker Ghosts kill a Carrier? Vikings landed down south. This is actually probably good for Estrella to lose some probes. He kind of needs to. The medevac ferrying around 4 landed Vikings is absolutely hilarious. Bunch of Ghosts in the open. About 11,000 resource lost advantage. So all of that 105 probe mining, a lot of it, half of his bank has been exhausted remaxing here. He hasn't rebuilt a single High Templar. Estrella has lost faith in High Templar. Oh no. And now there's mass air. You need a High Templar with an air army. Disruptors are not good against air. He's lost faith in High Templar precisely when he needs them. This is the same thing you guys heard me rant against Classic. Not rant, but kind of talk about it a lot when Classic was playing Maru at Dallas on Ultra Love. Classic had a big advantage in the early mid-game, was a bit too afraid to push, was a bit too pedantic. And then he got to late game, lost 1 big army, just didn't make a single extra High Templar. And Maru just ran across, sieged his libs, and won the easiest game he'd ever won. Even though I felt like Classic had a good situation. But he just didn't do enough with it, and that's something that did, you know, undo him. You've got to keep adding the High Templar. He's got 4 of them now, but they're all on 1 control group. They're not spread out. This is not really, I'm spreading High Templar. This is, I'm just going to make a few and get them all double EMP'd. And that's something, he's got to spread these guys out. They cannot be on his control group right now. Yeah, he's going to recall north somewhere. I don't know where he's recalled to. Guys, where did he recall to? Ah, Mama recall. Okay. Mama recalled up here. Thank you so much, Arar. What the hell? Over 3,000 bits. Really appreciate your support, guys, watching live from Twitch stream. If you guys on YouTube want to go above and beyond, please check out the Patreon. And big thanks everyone for watching. There we go. The Storm's pretty good on these libs. See, you can actually hit libs when they run forward like this with that. Pick off a few and pull back. It punishes a Terran for diving forward, but that was it. Where's the rest of the Storm? He's got 2 there. Now the Storm does go down. I think that was the energy recharge. Yes, it was. Carriers are here. He's got 5 of them. There's not many Vikings, which means the carriers are significantly problematic right now for ByuN. ByuN needs to kind of trade some units out to get more Vikings. His Ghosts are doing okay at clearing things. I don't think you can find the turrets with the carriers that well, but the Zealots will do okay. Disruptors go forward. Don't really do too much, and the Planetary is going to hold in the far north. A lot of Interceptors just got taken out. There's only 13 left. Where's the Mummy ship, says chat. Mummy's gone down south. It's going to be about 30 seconds, though, before she can recall. So she's got to chill for a minute, and then he can recall and take this base out. Another command center is going to move forward. The Liberator is actually going to scout her, which is actually good for ByuN. This is really good for ByuN. I mean, to be fair, the Lib does get intercepted, which you think is nice, but remember, the Mothership has decent damage, but it can only target separate units with its attacks, so that was one of its 4 attacks hitting the Liberator. Normally it would be doing that same damage to 4 different targets. She's just going to stand there. She hits her children. Someone call docs, man. Someone call those child services. She's just watching. 6 SCVs for 5 probes. 9,000 resource loss difference. High Templar not spread out. I don't think this is going to... They're just too clumped, right? He's trying to split off a little bit, but these guys are a bit too clumped. He doesn't have enough reserve units nearby. And I think he's going to get jumped on again. He's so scary. Disruptors! Oh, he gets 2 ghosts. Not bad, not bad. But I want to see High Templar coming in from these flanks. I want High Templar down south. I want High Templar up north. Nice nuke from that right side. The way ByuN is just peppering him with nukes off one Ghost Academy. And slowly expanding, using lib harassment. Very methodical, very careful play for ByuN. We've got to pay our respects to how good ByuN got in the patient, slow games. He used to be a guy who looked like he needed to win in the first, 10 minutes of the game, or he had no chance. Last 4 or 5 years, he's really evolved. Disruptor shot comes forward. Viking lives there, Bio Ghost as well. Orbital does take some damage. Storm does land on those Marauders. It's not getting that much done. Oh, recall! Ooh, Mama's there. Is she trying to get into the main? She's not going to make it, I don't think. Oh my gosh, there's 3 turrets in front of her with high-sec auto-tracking. They've got a high-sec drive. Oh, she did. She did! Mama, she's not even going to try to recall, which makes sense. She got spotted. He could have recalled her to a Nexus, right? Could have used a Nexus to recall her away, but Mama goes down. It's expensive. Tank's going to go down. Stalkers and Carrier trying to take down a planetary, but the army's coming. High Templar are scattered out here. Storm on these Viking lib could be massive. Remember, 1 or 2 good storms and these air armies of Terran get wrecked. But Estrella's not watching. He just missed an opportunity. Unfortunate. High energy Templar does go down. Remember, he's only got 1 more High Templar. He doesn't have faith in his High Templar. When you don't have faith in your High Templar, you always lose the air war in PvT. If you use Storm, you've got a chance. If you don't use Storm, you go Stalkers for your anti-air. You're basically locking in. You're ticking the box. I want to lose. I know it's a strong opinion. I just think Stalkers are absolute balls at this point. Great Storm. Great Storm lands on the Vikings. Great Storm lands on the Vikings. The Carrier's doing really well. Oh, hold on. The libs aren't doing anything. The libs aren't doing anything. ByuN just copped a giant storm to the face. That single storm changes everything. The Vikings got hammered by the Carriers. The Stalkers were able to fight on the ledge. A lot of the Bio was off fighting the Nexus. They weren't all together. And ByuN, in a moment of disarray, of disorganization, may have just slipped up. His army comes back. He's going to keep trying to kite this, trying to save this northern base. That planetary taking damage. The Stalkers and the Carriers need to make up their mind. Are we killing the planetary or are we killing the army? It's scary to kill the planetary because you've got a scary Terran army there. But look at that. Carriers taking out those ghosts so deliciously lovely. There's 2 planetaries up here. This is not an easy snipe by any means. It is, of course, +3 attack, +2 armor, and +2 shields on those air units. 3/3 on the ground. The planetary does have building armor, which means it's got, I believe, 4 armor, I want to say. Because I think they start with... No, because they're down to, 3 armor now, isn't it? They nerfed planetary armor, so it's actually a lot weaker to interceptors, zealots, these sort of units with 2 attacks especially. Hurrah! Thank you very much for the gifted sub, mate. Guys, Estrella might be our new schedule ruiner. If he wins this game and forces another game like this, you know he won't. You know, if he wins this game, ByuN is going to go double proxy Marauder game 4. He's going to do something like super aggro. ByuN's just going to be like, YOLO! I'm not playing another game like this. ByuN's wrists aching right now. +3 air armor about to finish for Estrella. Doesn't believe in the super expensive +3 plasma shields, guys. Recall down south. He's going to try and save this base and intercept this army. But where's the storms? High Templar comes in, gets it taken out. 2 more High Templar coming in from the left. They're not there. Cloak comes in. Time Warp goes down. Very good Time Warp. Those High Templar all clumped on that left side. Feedbacks land on mostly Medevacs as well as 1 Ghost. Archons are morphing. Estrella has 22 gateways of pure man mode Protoss reinforcement right now. The Interceptor's jumping forward as well. And it's not about the efficiency of the initial fight. It's about the ability to overwhelm with the numbers coming in behind. And Carriers give you that oomph. You know, he was playing a bit too pedantically, a bit scared for a long time with Tempest, units that chip at you. Now he's got Carriers where ByuN really needs to be picture perfect in those engagements. All those Interceptors will smash, but Vikings come forward. They take out a Carrier for 3 Vikings. I think that's, you know, pretty even trade. Marauder gets taken out as well. He's still poking. Dude, crazy poking forward here for ByuN. That's an insane balls on the Terran player. Pulls back behind the planetary now. His Bio's kind of stuck a little bit. Beautiful EMPs though. Absolutely delectable. The Stalker's diving into the libs in the planetary. Not too sure about this one from Estrella, guys. That looked like a rather ham-fisted engagement. And Estrella goes from what looked like it was beginning to be a winning position to a, oh no, I just threw my entire army away. He's back down 7,000 resources and the unit's lost. ByuN is back in this game. He's got 9 orbitals as well. So as long as he keeps bases up like this, he can keep spamming mules. He's going to float one up top and spam mules there as well. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Arar, for all the biddies and the gifted sub. A dog wearing shades with the sub as well. Anonymous, appreciate you all. If there's anyone I missed, you know I love you. Thank you for the support. Zivich, or 7 Vizic with the tier 3. Thank you. Archon carrier coming forward. It's a lot of Archons, but it's a lot of EMP. The Archons. No. Where's the flanking Templar? No. Oh, that's so hard, man. I mean, what can you... I mean, I get it's so hard to play this stage of the game. I thought he just lost faith in High Templar as the game went on. And it's so hard on this map. We were saying earlier, what are you going to do? But, like, you need to have so many High Templar scattered everywhere. And you need to just keep making High Templar over and over again and spreading them. I think Estrella was just as worn down as ByuN was at this point. And his army just was terrible. At this stage, his army was appallingly bad. He should have given this base up 100% and gone around. He still had a lot of minerals he could mine, but I think he just lost patience. He should have gone around. If he was going to fight with this army, he needed to come in with like a 3-pronged surround so the EMPs aren't stacked up too bad. And he needs a few more High Templar coming in from the edges as well with those potential Stormy Storms. But as it is, GG well played. ByuN gets the 3-0.